All right, it is basically Monday, and we're back at it again with a slightly later recording day. It's been a long week trying to get work done, get school done. We were literally all just trying to like do some homework just now, like with before that midnight due date,
Yeah,
but we did it.
it was me.
Yeah.
It was my fault.
Yeah, he was like, I've got an assignment due. And we was like, oh,
Yep.
you should probably finish that real quick. But we did it. We're here. It's 11 p.m. on a Friday, and we're
Which
gonna
is
give you,
basically Monday, so it's like
Yep.
we're doing it right.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, like the weekend just started, and Monday is literally like 15 minutes away, basically. So, so
Beautiful.
right where we should be. So yeah, how's it been going, guys? Anything? I'm I'm sure you've just been living life. Anything crazy or new?
Uh,
I was like, I was like, okay. I was like,
yeah, you
before
should
I get on
explain.
here, I was straight, like 1 second before we hit the hit live button. I was like, okay, should I like ask you guys how you've been doing, or should I just like go straight into like my story? And then like you guys were like, yeah. Like that did it. Like I asked you a if or questions, and you guys was like, yeah. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just ask. And then the moment I asked, both of you guys are just like crickets.
Well, you
Hilarious.
also usually, I'm gonna reveal even more information. Usually, I can see you guys, but like
Oh
we got
yeah.
on so late that we didn't set up the cam, so I wasn't sure who was gonna say anything.
I
The
mean, I
only
could
thing,
turn it on right now. I can do.
uh,
I'll do it.
Apparently my camera's on, but it's being used by something else.
All right, I'm doing it. All right, we got cameras on now. You guys just witnessed this live. I mean, I guess you can't see anything, but if you could, you
Every
would witness what three people seeing each other's faces and
my my
over
ca-
a
I
week
mean,
look
I
like.
still don't see his face, but
my camera's broken.
all right. So yeah,
I
you can
can't
hide
get it
yourself
on.
again.
I
Okay.
I can't get it to
All
work.
right,
I
so
don't know what's
basically
happening.
everyone's just staring at me. Wait, is Gouda's working?
I didn't turn it on yet. I'm waiting for John Stunk to load.
You're like,
It
no,
won't
you do
load.
yours first.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it won't load. It won't. I don't know what
Show
to
me
do.
yours, and then I'll show you mine.
Yeah, but why can't I just see yours first?
because the whole point of this was that he asked us what we were doing, but I had no chance. I had no way of seeing if
Okay.
you were gonna respond or not.
Okay. So I have to unplug it and replug it in.
Yeah, I guess it
This
does
is
help
really
to see
live.
each other.
This is happening.
Yeah, how do you know who I'm like addressing unless I say someone's name? Yeah, that's a good point.
Hmm.
I mean, like, even when you're like looking at like someone who's looking at a Discord screen, like you get to know, at least when it's just like the three of us, like I can kind of tell who you're looking at by like how you guys usually have your screen set up because like every time like I talk, like I'll see you look in like a certain corner and then someone else will be like the other corner.
Yeah.
But like yeah, if we don't see that, then it's just like, all right, I'm throwing this question out there. Like, yeah, so that makes sense. All right, so
You're
now,
muted. You're muted, John.
I'm here. I did it.
okay,
Yeah.
there we go. Yeah, we can see John.
My
All
camera's
right,
broken.
Gouda.
Sorry.
Now it's your
I'm
turn.
Uh,
joking. It's like never mind.
like gotcha.
Like after we all turned it on. All right.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, I was hoping like Cicely was gonna still be like sitting next to me. I was like, oh, this is she like hopped up in the chair next to me earlier, and I was like, oh, this will be like a nice little like background kitten. Like, who doesn't like a little kitten in the background? But then
A
she
lot of
left like
people.
right before. Just like screw that. Like I feel like all those like lo-fi music stations, like they always have like some anime, and the anime has like a cat in the background.
Yeah, but I mean that's. I feel like lo-fi. That's a very cat personality music.
That's true. Yeah. Do dog people listen to lo-fi?
I'm not even
I
Let
don't
sure.
us
think so.
know on
I'm not
in the
even sure.
comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not even sure what that is.
Lo-fi? You don't know what lo-fi is? Lo-fi music? Interesting. Wow. It's
You do.
like it's
Okay.
You've
like
heard it.
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's like chill. It's like the jazz version of EDM. It's like chill, just like beats, like
Like
electronic-y beats usually.
Rocket League has some lo-fi on it, or it used to, anyways.
Yeah, it kind of does actually. Like there's some like more chill songs in there.
Mm.
Like
Okay.
it's like that. And it's usually like no words either. Like it's just like
Oh. Yeah.
background new
I
age beats.
I don't know if true dog people listen to that. I have no idea. I feel like I'm a dog person by like default, so I probably don't count.
Yeah, and you've never even heard of lo-fi, so I mean like we're on the
Yeah.
right track here.
You
Yeah.
know why? Because they're outside.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. No, that's definitely true.
The
Yeah, yeah.
lo-fi is a total inside basement, no one's gonna see me type of thing.
Yeah,
Um,
I never listen to lo-fi outdoors. That is completely true. I've never listened to lo-fi in my car.
Dude, that would be scary. I don't even want to meet that person.
Yeah, like
No,
you're gonna crash directly into a wall. Like that's what's gonna happen.
no, I mean like someone that's just like walking down the street listening to lo-fi. Like
Yeah,
what?
they're not
That
there.
person's ready to do anything. Like they might they might just like pull out a machete and like just chop you just to see what happens.
Yeah, like who puts on headphones, goes outside and listens to smooth jazz?
I can understand that a little bit more.
Like
Smooth
real
jazz.
smooth jazz, like not upbeat, just like
Like
real
like
mellow.
saxophone jazz.
Yeah, like saxophone late night dinner at the 50s diner with only one working light overhead jazz.
Yeah, that would be kind of strange. What if it's at night though? What if it's like
Actually, that
a
makes sense.
crisp autumn walk?
Then I feel like it's acceptable. I could see that. But if it's like
Okay.
first thing in the morning and the sun's shining bright, like and it's a clear day and the sun's right in your face
I don't
and you have
know.
that music, that's weird.
I think I'd be more afraid like of a killer if their theme music late at night was smooth jazz. Like, can you imagine you're walking down the street and like you see Michael Myers is just like I'm afraid. I am genuinely afraid.
Oh man, yeah, that would definitely change my outlook on smooth jazz. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. You can't go back to that place after that.
oh man,
You can never listen to that ever again.
that's
Yeah, the
kind of
jazz,
funny.
man. Have either of you actually been to? Are either of you old enough to have been to a jazz club yet?
I've been to one.
A
Yeah.
jazz club? I didn't even know those still existed.
I
Yeah, you're not old enough yet.
yeah.
Dang, that's
I guess
crazy. So they're real?
There's
yeah.
one in Milwaukee. There's actually a couple.
Is it Savoy's?
No. Oh my God. He's talking about like a trap club, like where you get shot or like go to make
Trap
the
beats.
Like
deals and
they have that like suave purple like sign, so I figured like if there's anywhere that was a jazz club, it must be them.
no.
Jungle
All right.
beats.
Well, so where was it at, John?
Yeah, I guess it wasn't necessarily a jazz club. Like they played jazz there, but the music depended partially on like what musician showed up that day. So it was like an
Wait,
underground
so
like
was it?
music club, but I don't know if I'd classify it as strictly jazz.
So it was more of a piano bar.
Yeah.
An
Yep.
after school a cappella
And
group?
both times I've been to a place like that, we've gone with Danielle's dad and his wife. Like those are the only two times I've been.
Okay. Yeah. Then
Interesting.
then I would say that was
Yeah.
on the edge of jazz club.
Yep. And he
Was it
ordered
in like
he ordered me a brandy.
ooh
Oof.
neat?
Yeah, it was so neat.
Mm,
Oof.
disgusting.
Yep.
Did you have to drink the whole thing?
Yeah, I did drink the whole thing. Yep.
Did you like it or did you do it like out
No,
of like
no.
respect?
Yeah, it was just more like a you don't want to be the bitch at the table type moment.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You're
yep,
like, all right, here we go, body.
yeah.
Get
But
ready for this
luckily, I don't
poison.
I don't drink anymore, so I just have that excuse to fall back on. But yeah, it's I don't know something about
But you
really
don't drink at all anymore?
no no. I mean,
Like that's like a
I mean,
new like thing, like you vow not to take another drink.
so I think I told you it was like a little over a year ago now, but yeah, I stopped drinking a while back. But yeah, like have I had alcohol since then? Like I've tasted wine. I had like one shot that I can remember, but no, like I don't casually drink anymore.
Oh, okay, casually,
Yeah,
yeah.
but I don't have like a beer. I don't like. There's pretty much there's alcohol in the house, and we just don't drink it.
So like, when Mila gets married and like they give a toast at her wedding, like, would you sip the champagne?
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to speak for myself so far in the future, but I mean, maybe. I
I mean,
probably
if
would
it
just have
happened
water.
somehow today, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I just probably have water.
So you wouldn't even take a sip of champagne? Interesting. So you're serious about it. You're pretty serious.
Yeah, I mean, like I would take a sip of champagne if I was really interested how it tastes, but I wouldn't do it for like like an occasional thing. Like that doesn't seem as important to me because like I don't think there's nothing about the wedding that makes it more special if I drink champagne.
It was the day of your daughter's wedding. It's
Yeah,
supposed to be like, I don't know, like the
yeah,
stereotypical like dad's like
yeah.
second most important day ever or something like
Yeah.
that. I
I
don't
mean, I can see that in some instances. Like the one time, there was only two times since then I've had an actual shot. One of them was with Danielle on just a week that we had a really rough week, and we thought, oh, like let's just have a shot together. This will be fun. It wasn't.
know.
Like I was sick that whole night. So yeah,
Really? With
yeah,
one shot?
yes, I
Of
had
what?
an extreme. It was scotch, I think.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, no
oh,
wonder, dude.
yeah.
Like, why aren't you
you had
like taking stuff
retired
that's
and you
like,
came back on the brown. Like, what are you
Yeah.
thinking?
Well, we didn't have like we don't buy alcohol, so I didn't like have alcohol in the house other than that.
whew,
Yeah, but you guys usually have wine, don't you?
whew.
No, we didn't have wine then either at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make
Yeah,
me sick
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Lorraine went out like to dinner and I think we got like, yeah, we went to another place for drinks and dessert afterwards, and like they didn't like I didn't want to get like a random mixed drink that like I just told the bartender to make. Like I just wanted to try like whatever's on the menu and just like pay their overpriced price just to see like what like fancy thing they would deliver to me, like really like just trying new stuff. And like I got this one thing with, what was it in it? I forget the name of it, but it was like not Daniel Craig, Elijah Craig. That's what it was called. It had Elijah Craig in it, and I'm like, I don't know what that is. Like,
Yeah,
let's just try it.
I've never heard of that.
And it's like, oh my god! And it was like, I'm pretty sure it was like, yeah, some sort of bourbon or
Burb.
something like the brown liquor. Yeah, it was like a bourbon of some sort.
Was it like an
And
old fashioned or something?
I don't know. All I could taste was the alcohol. Like that's literally all I could taste. Like I think there was supposed to be there was like a piece of cherry wood bark in there.
What? Okay. Was
Yeah,
there ice?
no.
No ice.
No ice, just a
Oh.
piece of cherry wood bark and like I could see some like stuff in the bottom, like some sort of like maybe cinnamon possibly.
Mm.
I'm not even sure. I don't know what that was. But
Okay.
yeah. It was terrible though. Like I took one sip and like my stomach was like already burning after that.
The burn.
Like
The true burn.
I was like,
So
I cannot finish this.
did this waiter like recommend it to you, or you just like?
No, I just like picked it random. They literally had like it was like six drinks to pick from, and they all had bourbon. Like it was like uh, it was like bourbon, tequila,
Oh,
and
was
then
this that
like
tiki bar?
whiskey or some other whiskey. No, it was an Italian place actually over by us. I forget the name of it though. I
Mm.
don't remember the name. Oh, like Rosatos or something like that. But
Risottos.
risotto,
Uh,
maybe
yeah.
risottos,
I mean,
maybe.
I feel like the Italians aren't really known for their mixed drinks, are they?
Ooh, no, they are not. Nope. And
Oh.
yeah, it wasn't good either. Like it was brutal.
Would you ever order a margarita at an Italian restaurant?
No, probably not, honestly. No.
My mom did that, and it was just tequila. Like there wasn't even they didn't even put a picture. It was
Like
just
it was
tequila.
only
It was
tequila.
just tequila, and then they like salted the rim, and they're like, "All right, here you go."
Just
Yeah.
like I think this is a
When
margarita. Like no one's
Yeah.
ever
when
ordered
she
this
yeah,
before.
when she ordered it, the person just wrote tequila.
Oh man, this is like a supposedly nice place in Milwaukee, like just like a month ago.
Yeah,
So
like the place we were at was like one of the nicest Italian places on the south side, and like or supposedly.
mhm. Yeah, so you better like just stick with the wine at the Italian place.
Yeah. Yeah, their wine selection was good. Like they had quite a bit of wines and like I should have gotten that. But like at least like the waiter did take the drink. Like she like actually Lorraine told her right away that like I wouldn't like that and I didn't like that. So she's like, "Oh, okay, like we'll take it back and then like we'll give you something else." And they actually didn't charge me for it, which is like pretty nice. But then the second drink I got had gin in it, and it was the only one that seemed like even like remotely edible. And I would like it was okay. It was like a 6 out of 10. It had like gin, like some sort of like lemon something or another. But it
Lemony
still
lemon.
tasted like mostly gin. But still, like gin is better than whatever Elijah Craig is. That stuff is like, oh, that is, yeah, that hit me hard. Like just one sip. So,
Yep. Yeah, it's just
yeah,
not
watch
worth it
out for that.
anymore, and especially now that like I haven't had alcohol in a long time. Even the smallest amount really like disturbs the balance at this point. So it just like a lot of times whatever the alcohol is doesn't even taste good. So it's just like it's not it doesn't seem worth it. And I haven't sampled enough things to like find something I'm really attached to that I can drink casually. So I just did away with it altogether. Just said fuck it. Yeah, 'cause it seems like
Yeah.
everyone has that story of just like something that tastes just terrible, but you finish the drink anyway.
Yeah. I feel like the only thing that doesn't like ruin my day immediately is like beer or wine. Like I can still drink those. I can't drink much. It's just like one or two. But like I can drink them and like I won't be like like I have a chance of surviving. But yeah, mixed drinks, as yeah, it
You
seems
gotta
like
get
those are rough.
you gotta get that mix.
That's straight
No,
alcohol.
that's bad news.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Once you're no longer in like mixed company regularly, you should not be drinking mixed drinks.
yeah, basically.
Mixed
Like that
drinks are for
that's
mixed
gotta be a
company.
quicker ticket to the grave.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
uh yeah, I was gonna talk about before I asked you guys what was up. Actually, did any of you guys is anything up? Did we even go over that? You guys want to add anything,
Yeah, we
or
didn't.
should I just get into this?
Yeah, ask us again so I can look at John.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be like looking directly at the screen, like what, like who's supposed to go? Oh man, hilarious.
So are you gonna do it or?
Oh, this is just me.
I mean, I'm afraid to like
Oh,
fall for
we're
the
waiting on
trap.
him to. Yeah, we're waiting
All
on him
right,
to
no,
ask.
okay,
No, there's really nothing. It's Friday the
okay.
13th.
It is.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I still don't have an offer from my job, so that's disheartening.
Oh yeah, yeah. According to the last podcast, did we discuss that you were supposed to start like Monday? I think we did talk about that,
Yep. Yeah, Monday.
and that's this Monday, and it's already basically Monday, like
Right.
right now. So
Right.
like,
It's today. Yep.
and they're still under the impression that you have just accepted the job. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah,
It's like
well,
things.
I think everyone knows now that I'm not happy and that there's a very good chance that I won't take the job because that's been made clear several times now in the last few days.
And how long have you been there?
I started April 10th, so
So it's like 5 months,
6 months, 7 months, maybe
no,
7.
five,
April, May,
because
June,
March,
July, August, September.
yeah, six,
Yeah,
like
six,
five,
six.
5 or 6,
It's six.
6,
Yeah, it's 6.
6. Okay, yeah, 6. So, I mean, I don't know. That's like a
That's, I don't
decent
know,
amount of
pretty
time.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. I was gonna say the longest I've made it before I was like, huh, I don't want to work here anymore. It's probably a year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't. It's not that I don't want to work there. I just like I don't like this in particular. This situation in particular is just not like fun, obviously, because it's doesn't make any sense. But like, yeah, I would stay in my current role. Like that'd be fine. But I feel like once you turn down corporate America, a lot of times things become very narrow and very difficult very quickly. So
Yeah, it's like, oh, you don't accept, you're fired.
yeah, I mean that would be really that'd be really that'd be something. That'd really be something.
Well, prepare yourself for something, because they can do anything, man.
Oh no, they absolutely could. I feel like this is one of those scenarios where like it would fuck them more than it would fuck me. So like it really would make a lot of sense. I mean, yeah, it really would not. But I mean, you never know. The people companies do a lot of things that don't make a lot of sense. So yeah. So yeah, there's that, and
Ah,
then like you said, Friday the 13th, and the day was dreary all day today. It's been raining here
oh,
for like a week, so yeah, it really
yeah,
felt
Same.
same.
like
I
felt like
fucking love it. Great.
Yeah, me
true
too.
October. You love the
I
rain,
love the rain. Yeah, I
Hmm.
absolutely love it. Like
like
I
you
was literally
always
just
have.
sitting outside, like working. Yeah, yep.
You always have. Okay.
I didn't know you loved it though, Gouda. Like I don't remember you ever like talking about how much you love the rainy days.
You never ask.
Who asked that? Like, hey man, you ever love these rainy ass days? Actually, you know what? Because like I'm probably like not hanging out or doing anything with anyone because it's raining. And you're
Hmm.
not either because it's raining. So like we just don't happen to see or talk to each other on these days. And that's literally why I love them because I don't see or talk to anyone. Like no one's doing anything. No one asks me to do anything because it's raining. So like I just like sit at home and do like whatever the fuck I want.
That's crazy. In your world, like all activity just stops. if,
Yeah.
if there's precipitation, like it just that's it. I guess we're not doing anything today. Kind of like builders, or I would assume like construction people. They look outside and they're like, not sunny. Oh, we tried. Just like
Yeah.
you just chalk it up.
Yeah, yep. That is so true. Yeah. So, well, speaking of things that like don't make sense, especially in the corporate life, like I hired this like accounts receivable person, um, like
What?
maybe
Wait,
I,
did you tell the podcast like how this position came to be and like how you found this person to work? I don't because I think we talked about it, but I don't know if we were on the podcast when we talked about it. Can you
I don't
give
think so.
can you
I
give
just
Yeah.
like
found
a
them.
No.
can you give like a quick recap of like okay you decide from like the point you decided to hire someone to like how you got here and said okay this is the person like what does that look like for a small business? I'm
Okay,
actually genuinely curious.
it's quite simple actually, especially this position. Like
Okay.
we've been getting a lot more busy, so then like we've been falling behind on sending bills out to our customers. So at this point, I'm just like I can literally hire someone to do this, and I we would be like way more profitable, and I can spend my time doing better things. So like I finally came to that conclusion and determination probably like beginning of September-ish, maybe middle of September. So then by the end of September and the beginning of October, I've already been I made a post on Indeed and I've been
Oh,
like getting
indeed.
like tons of responses. Like I think I got like 200 or something because it's like a fully remote job. And it's only like 16 hours a week and like for the most part you get to pick your own hours. But like my only stipulation was that like at least 4 to 8 hours a week would have to be during the day like during like normal business hours, like eight probably at first, just so like we can like coordinate and like make sure like everything's going well. And then like later on, like once things are good and you're on your own, like just like 4 hours a week. So that way you can like call customers if you need to and like straighten out bills if like there's like some sort of like discrepancy or something. Just like simple stuff. And like we don't have like a ton of customers, so like it's not like that big of a job to be like talking to our customers or really only be like maybe one or two people to talk to each week, like if that. Um, like, and it's probably like less than that actually. But so that's it. That's otherwise it's fully remote.
And
Like
like,
so, like tons of people were interested.
okay. And like
So
you
like
interviewed or
yeah, yep. So actually, this is probably where I went wrong. Is that
okay.
I didn't interview more people. Like I made
Oh,
lots
okay.
of mistakes in this one.
The moment we got to interviewing, this is where I fucked up.
Yeah. When I finally hired that person, that was a mistake.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So like yeah. So like I like went through like all the applications and then I narrowed it down to like a pool of like only like maybe like less than 10 people that I really liked. And then I had like maybe 30 people that like I would be happy to have. But like so like I had the less than 10 people, like I had one person that was like I really liked their resume like way better than like anyone else's like by far. It was like literally perfect like for what I was looking for. And like so I gave them a call right away and then they actually answered and then like we hit it off right away and I was like, "Hey, are you interested in this? Like let's talk another time and talk about it." And there's like, "Yeah, great." And like it was like it was like perfect. Just like, "All right, this is going like super well like already." And like this is like my favorite like applicant so far. And like so like I did the interview um which she was late for like it's literally 10 minutes before the phone interview that we had scheduled after I called her the first time. This person, she she messaged me 10 minutes before and said that she forgot she had a doctor's appointment and can we reschedule the interview for another time. But the thing is I was really busy that day and I had an emergency come up at work myself. So like I missed the interview time. Like I didn't even realize what time it was until like a half hour later, which is like terrible. Like I hate doing that. Like and I was like, oh shit, like I missed the interview. Like there's no way this guy's gonna accept the job now. And then I looked at my phone. I was like, oh, like they texted me and like they weren't even ready for it. Like I was expecting at least like a missed call from them, like or something, but like yeah, it was just like one text that said like, "Hey, can we reschedule?" It was like 10 minutes before when our interview was scheduled. But
Oh,
like
so
I was
they
just
told
thinking,
you they didn't no show it. They told you right before, which is still
yeah,
short notice, but they told you before it was about to happen.
right.
Okay.
Right. And then they didn't call at 1, so like I'm assuming they weren't actually like ready for it or anything. So then I I called them back like at like 1:30 and then like she didn't answer and then I texted her. I was like, "Hey, like sorry I missed your text, but like yeah, I was busy too. So like it's no problem. We were both busy. Like I don't know, like in my mind I was like it was like a one-off thing that like rarely happens. So then I was just thinking like maybe she just so happened to also have a one-off thing that like rarely happens. So I was like, "You know what? That's fine. Like
So this
everything's
is
been
the
going so well."
this is the fuck up part
Yeah.
then.
So then
Okay.
like we finally did the interview. It was fine. I think we did it like the next day or something. And it was fine. Everything went well. And she was like, "Yeah, like I only have a part-time job. Like so like doing this would be like perfect like for me. Like everything like I would be like really happy to be like doing this. This is like literally exactly what I'm looking for." And I was like, "Yeah, me too. Like this is perfect." So like we're like, "All right." So I trained them. We set up a time the following week. I trained them, and then I was like, okay, and like like also thinking back on like the training and just like kind of everything, like after she like actually like accepted the job, like from the moment she signed the contract and sent that to me, like her communication was just like really shitty after that. Like it just didn't. It was like one word answers and just like she was just like barely saying anything. And like I would like email her like, "Hey, like this is how things are gonna go. Like I need this, this, and that from you." And then she just like wouldn't even respond. And then like I would call her like the next day, like, "Hey, did you get that stuff?" And she's like, "Oh, yeah, let me quick send that to you." I was like, "Okay." I was like, "That's kind of weird. Like you just started here and like you're already like too busy to like get started." And I'm like, "Okay." So then like I train her and then I'm like, "All right, so like you're good. And this person is like an experience, according to their resume, like they are very experienced in this. Like they don't need a ton of training, like or hand holding. Like I just kind of show her like how I do things, and like she can like go to do things how like she knows best, essentially. And then like I just like didn't. I was like, yeah, let me know when you have questions. And this was like, all right. And it's like didn't hear from her for like the rest of the day. I was like, so like did you do anything? Like did you work or anything? And she's like, no, I'm gonna work a little bit later this week or whatever. I'm like, okay. So then like and like later this week was like because that was on like Friday basically when I was like, all right, did you do anything like yesterday? Because I trained her on Thursday, and this was like last Thursday. Or actually, was it Wednesday? It might have been Wednesday when I trained her. But basically, before the end of the week, she had told me that she was gonna work more this weekend. And I was like, all right. So like, I was like, if anything happens, you have any questions, like, text me or call me or whatever, and I'll like, even if it's the weekend or night, like, I'll respond because like this is like really important to me and I wanted to get it done. And she's like, all right. And she like never messaged me the whole weekend. And then Monday morning came around, and I messaged her. I was like, so how did it go this weekend? Like, I'm assuming it went really well if you literally didn't have any questions. And she's like, oh, she's like, I couldn't log. No, she said my email isn't set up with like your QuickBooks Online. She's like, that's all she said back. I was like, oh, and like that doesn't mean like you can still like log in, like you can still have access to like our software and everything. If your email isn't set up with QuickBooks Online, all that does is make it so when you send out bills, there's not like a payment, like you can't pay with Visa and like credit card online. It just sends you like a PDF of the bill that is in QuickBooks or whatever. So like I was like, oh, like, all right, that's not like an emergency. Like, that's just like a small problem that she will need addressed eventually. And then, so I'm like, okay. So then, like, I, so then, like, I think like a day or two after that, like, or the next day, I'm just like, again, she just doesn't say anything. Because like I'm assuming she can still log in and everything's good. And I literally like when she says I can't log into QuickBooks Online, I was like, oh, that just means that you can't send invoices with online payment options. And she's like, yep. And like that was it. I was like, okay, I'll get that fixed and I'll let you know as soon as it's fixed. And she's like, okay, thanks. And then like the next day went through. I was like, hey, like just so you know, we're gonna have a meeting about like everything that's been going on and how far you've come. Like tomorrow morning at 10. And she's like, okay, sounds good. And then I'm like, okay, like things must be going well then. And then like I call her in the morning at 10. So now like basically at this point a full week has gone by, and she since she started like at this point, and we're having this phone meeting. So so I call her. I'm like, all right, so like so where are you at? Like what's been going on? She's like, well, I haven't been able to log in yet. And I was like, what do you mean? Like she's like, yeah, I can't get into the software. Like this message pops up and it doesn't let me like get in because like I'm not an administrator. And it was like something super easy. Like I could have easily fixed it like in a second had she told me about it. But like she never did. And I'm just like like at this point I don't even know. I was like, okay. I was like, so this is gonna be a pretty short meeting then
You don't
because you haven't done anything.
you don't
And
have
she's
to
like, yeah.
you don't have to say exactly, but could you give us an age range for this person?
That's exactly what I wanted to
She's
know.
and this is actually why I hit it off with her because like we're the same age. She's like, I'm 32 too. I was like, oh, perfect. Like me too. Like
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
like a fellow like hustler, like trying to make money, feed their family. Like she had one kid, like and some like cats and dogs. Like, oh, okay, like yeah, just like me. Like literally, like we're in the same boat here. Like, but but
No.
she yeah. So like yeah, so like she never got in. So like I was like, all right, I'll fix this right now, and I will call you as soon as like I have this going. And I fixed it. It took like 2 seconds. I called her back. I was like, all right, like log in right here so I can like make sure it works. And it did. She's like, yep, it works. I'm like, okay, perfect. I was like, she's like, yeah, I can probably have like all this stuff done like by the end of the month, like now that I'm logged in and like and then I am going on vacation at the end of this month as well. So like, I'll have it done before I go. I'm just like, okay, like I'm like happy that she's saying she'll have it done by the end of the month, but also kind of like a little thrown off that she's like already saying she's going on vacation at the end of the month. I'm just like, she said it so casually, like, were you gonna tell me before this? Like, I don't even know. Like, so okay, so that was like another like major flag. So then like I kind of like at this point I just hang up and like I assume she's like I'm gonna work on it tonight and like right now and tonight. So like I'm like all right, I'll talk to you about it in the morning about everything you've got done. Then she's like okay, sounds good. And I talked to her the next morning. Actually, first off, I purposely don't message her because like I set up a time for us to meet at 10 again. And this time I don't message her first. I just want to see if she's gonna respond. And she never did. So like I messaged her at like 11. I was like, and I literally just said, like, at this point, I was just thinking to myself, I was just like sitting at my computer, just like thinking, like, this girl is not serious. Like, she's not working. Cause like the first thing I did when I woke up that next day was I logged into my QuickBooks system and checked if any new bills got put in, and there was nothing. And I was just like, she didn't work last night. Like, so I literally like messaged her. I was like, when do you work? And she was like, after my day job. I was like, I was like, I was like, is your day job every day? And she was like, yeah. And if you remember, when we did the interview, she said she only had a part-time
Yeah, part
job
time.
and
Yeah.
she had plenty of
Mhm.
time to do this, and this was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And then like,
She works
I'm just
part time every single day.
and then I'm just
Yeah.
like, well, I need to know like when you're gonna work ahead of time. So like I can make sure that it's like actually getting done. And then like I sent that text and then I thought I was like, you know what? Like why do I even have to make sure that it's getting done and hold her hand like this? And then after that I was like, you know what? I sent her another text. I was like, I don't think this is gonna work actually. And then she said, okay, I understand. Let me know if you ever need anything in the future. Like that was it. Like I was like, what
Did
the
you
fuck?
did you pay her
Like
for the week that she was working?
I paid her for the 2 hours that it took that we did our training because I know she was at least on the phone with me, interacting with me for 2 hours.
Yeah.
But she literally said she didn't work at all for the week before, so I didn't pay her. And
Oh,
like,
okay. Yeah,
but I
that's
paid her for the 2 hours that we did work. So like, and,
yeah.
and then I just the moment she said that, I just sent her an email saying like our contract from this point on, our contract is terminated. Like that was it, and that was just the end of that. I didn't even respond.
Yeah.
Like it's like.
The fact that she didn't even put up a fight when you said that to her makes me think that you're just one of many remote jobs that she probably has.
Yeah,
Like,
I
definitely.
wonder, is
And
that
that she knew that she would be fired at any
yeah.
moment based off of her
She
performance.
probably has like a total comp for the year of probably like 100 something thousand between like the 27 remote
yeah.
jobs she has part time. That's an actual thing. Like apparently that Danielle was telling me that people just sign up for as many jobs as they can, like even if they're not qualified for them, just with like slightly fudged credentials but with the same name, they just sign up for them all, and then they've basically been on the job for a few weeks, so they have to get paid, and then when someone finally figures it out and fires them, they've been paid for a few weeks. So,
Wow.
like, that's what it said.
Wow.
The only reason that made me think of it is because she, like, at no point was she, like, surprised. She was like, yeah, I'm working.
Right.
And then the moment you're like, actually, no, you're not, she's like, okay.
It's like, yeah, yep.
Like, that's
Like
just
she never
strange.
tried to like say that she worked when she didn't. Like she said she would work and then wouldn't,
Yeah.
but she never lied about the past,
Right.
which
And
is just like
the moment you called her on it, she was just like, all right.
yeah, she's like, okay, sounds good. Like, what the fuck? So
The-
like, yeah, so I messed up in multiple places. I should have interviewed more people for one. I should have, and then like the next people I interviewed, like they probably wouldn't have rescheduled the interview 10 minutes before it, and I've been like, you know what? That's a great like sign of a worker. I might go for them. I mean, that's gonna mean a lot for me going forward. And like obviously like how she just didn't respond to like half my emails that I was sending in the beginning about how things like would work and like what I needed from her, and then like she just like would like do it like right when we were on the phone together, like
yeah.
suddenly. I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm the busy person, and that's why I'm hiring you. Like, you shouldn't be more busy than me. Like, this is an hourly position. Like,
Even too like promptness, like I wouldn't say that like that's necessarily an indicator of a good worker, but like how people react when they're not prompt, I would say is like the fact that she like a doctor's appointment is not something that sneaks up on you. Like you have to schedule those. So either she scheduled it within a very short time frame, knowing she was working for you and planned on you taking a back seat, or she really is completely oblivious to the fact that she had a doctor's appointment, and when she realized it, it was only 10 minutes before. So like it's not like
yeah, it's a
someone's
bad
kid had
sign.
an emergency or something and they're like, "Oh my God." That's the other thing. Like she didn't even seem it doesn't sound like she was apologetic. She was like, "Oh yeah, like this happened." She was just letting you know she wasn't going to be there, not like asking for your time back. She didn't value your time even when it was like right there and she didn't have the job yet.
Not
And
at all.
then like
Oh,
she and then when you said that she was like, yeah, I'm going on vacation at the end of the month. When she also said I'm gonna get it all done by the end of the month, you're not even gonna be here. Like, how is
Yeah.
that possible?
right? Like, so if you don't, you're just gonna be gone either way.
Yeah,
Like,
and she figured that she'd get a couple of checks from you while she was on vacation to help fund the vacation.
I can't. Oh, sorry.
and
What were
also,
you gonna?
I wanna add that I just remembered this when we finally did do the phone interview after she rescheduled. When I called her, I could hear that she was in her car, and I was like, "Are you driving right now?" Like, we had literally scheduled this 24 hours ago. Like, you would think you would schedule it for a time that you're not like driving or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. You should be if you're in, you could be in the car, but not like operating the car.
Right. And I could literally hear that she's like the background of driving. And she's like, "Yep." And I was just like, "Oh, okay." I was like, she's just
Maybe she's
uh
got a Tesla
Yeah,
yeah, right,
with all the
maybe.
money she's
with all
making
that
from all
hustle.
the
But
yeah
I
that
was
hustle
gonna
money.
when I heard that, the very first thing I thought was like, are people really like just getting jobs for a week to like get the check and then like have things really like devolved to that point? And then sure enough, John, you said that's it. That's
Yeah,
really scary, actually.
yeah.
So right now, it's better to get fired from 50 jobs than just keep one stable one.
I don't think that's true. I think
Yeah,
yeah,
that's not a
those
lasting
people
like
have definitely miscalculated.
yeah, like that's not gonna last long for them.
But still, the fact that they even thought that was like a good like decision, like, oh yeah, this will be my strategy moving forward.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Like that
There's
doesn't
so
make any
many
sense
jobs
to me.
to apply
Right.
for that you can literally get away
Right,
with that.
right.
Maybe that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. In
crazy.
some places they are. That's definitely happening. In some places, yes. Yeah. What a world.
Yeah, you would think, huh? Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys think that putting remote is like still a good or bad thing? Like I almost feel like it's gotten to the point where if you are remote, like if you are posting a remote job, you're more at risk to get like defrauded like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably somewhat true. I think it also like I don't think you should post remote jobs unless you feel that you're truly a good vet of someone's character. And most people probably think that about themselves, but I feel like you have to have a level of honesty with yourself before you can ever be able to task yourself with finding a remote person. Because like there's lots of people who can like talk well. There's some concessions you have to make with a remote person, obviously, right? Like you know they're in their house or they're in whatever place they're in, and they're going to be doing other things. Like that's just the reality of someone who's remote. Like no one's going to be watching them. They're going to use their time a little bit more freely. But you have to know that and still feel comfortable with the person enough to think they're actually going to produce something. I also think if you're going to hire a remote person, you got to be quick to fire. Like the
Yeah.
moment the production is not there, you cannot take the risk to think, oh, I just need to see if they can work it out. If they're in person, you can do that because you have time to teach and you have time to like know that they're spending time on it. You can't do that remote people. Remote people need to be somewhat self-motivated.
Yeah, that is so true. Yeah, you
And
gotta be quick to fire.
Yeah, quick to
what
fucking fire.
what was like the time frame from when you first talked to her, or let's say when she first like submitted her resume and then you gave her the contract and she signed it.
Mm, it was like maybe a week or less, basically.
Yeah. I think we talked about this last time, but when I did hiring, I would never hire anyone like within 2 weeks. I would always wait like at least 2.5 weeks before, even if they're like the perfect candidate, like just for that very reason, just to see if like, okay, are you still serious about this? And
Yeah,
like,
if they're still looking and actually wanting it. Yeah,
yeah,
interesting. Yeah, Lorraine always says that if you want the candidate to accept the position, you go for it immediately, which is probably true, but like you don't necessarily want a bad candidate to accept the position.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you're hiring for. Like if you're hiring for something, and the market too, right? Like if you know you have a good candidate who you don't like I'm assuming she's talking about the golden candidate where you don't want them to go somewhere else, and if you imagine them doing something somewhere else, you would think to yourself, I should have done whatever I could to like keep them. That person,
Right.
yeah, sure, be quick. But if there's someone who like could work out, yeah, I think what Good is saying makes sense. Like, I feel like part of that waiting could also, I don't know, speak to their seriousness about it. Like, it depends.
yeah. And to be clear, I was hiring interns, so they're exactly the type
Right.
of people you
Okay.
mean, John. Like,
Yeah. Yep.
I need to
Okay.
see, like, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That makes total sense. Yeah, because then they're actually in front of you doing something else anyway. So yeah, I guess it's a good preliminary probationary period.
but
Yeah,
I would like pretty much treat it like a 16-hour part-time person. That's essentially an intern, really.
basically,
Yeah.
yeah.
And a real remote
Honestly, why
person who,
don't you get an intern? Like, why
you
don't you get
could.
an accounting intern? They
I
probably work.
mean,
I mean,
I would, but like out of all the people who applied, like I got a lot of like extremely qualified people like with like bachelor's and master's degrees in accounting who applied.
Oh.
So
I
I
was
just
see
gonna,
that.
figured I would go for them
I was
first
gonna
That's why I'm like,
unless
ask.
that's
they're
scary.
happy
Like,
with
why
it.
are these like super old qualified people doing these schemes?
That no, that it's just that lady who was scheming. That's a scheme. Like she was scheming.
Yeah, I
That
guess I'll let you know how the next one goes. Like,
yeah.
cause I immediately, like, literally, like before I got off the phone with her, saying that it was over, I had Indeed opened and I had the job posting posted and like I posted it. And then the very next thing I did was like delete all her access was like from everything.
I was gonna
I was like,
ask
oh,
were
by
you
the
at all
way,
worried about
we're
like
done.
data breaches, but it turns out she didn't actually log in ever, so it's probably
Never
it's
logged
probably
in.
fine. Yeah.
She never logged
Oh
in. Yeah.
man, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So do you think people like there might be those professionals that just want to get access to someone's like books and then like they use it for nefarious purposes?
She could have.
Yeah, probably, but those people are few and far between too, because if you ever have like some type of access to like important information that the company needs, all the documentation that you sign as part of your onboarding immediately protects them and fucks you if they ever find out that you ran away from it, like with their shit, like instantly. Like all that, I don't know for sure what the fucking verbiage is, but I know somewhere in that stack of paperwork you signed it says, "We'll fuck you if you if you do anything
Yep.
unsavory."
And I definitely made her sign that paperwork. So
He said, "I've got my fuckery slip right here."
yeah, I've got it ready. If I ever find something missing.
Yeah.
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 So
So I'm sure those people exist too, but I would imagine it's harder to be a regular human being out on the street and be doing that. You get found pretty quickly once that happens.
I don't know. These days I feel like everyone thinks that it's like, yeah, no one would do that. They would just like get caught immediately. And yet like that's why everyone does it, because no one
yeah.
thinks that.
Remember those people who just like during the PPP loans, there's like,
Yeah.
yeah, man, you could just write on the application that you're a billionaire, and then they'll loan you like a huge percentage of the money. Then no one checks it. But like clearly like they never thought that like maybe one day someone would be like, wait, let's go back and look at this. And like that's exactly what everyone did.
Yeah, that's
It
just
was like,
dumb.
all right, let's go back and look at this. Plus, like, how are you gonna pay it back? Like, didn't you think? But like, yeah, there was tons and tons of people who got taken down for PPP loan fraud,
Yeah.
and that's all they literally would do. They're saying, oh, like we just lied about our income,
Yeah,
and then the government doesn't
yeah,
check any of it, so like they
yeah,
just
they
gave them the loan.
pretended to need money for specific purposes that they had no intention of actually using it for.
Yeah, we gave away billions of that apparently. Billions got lost in
Yeah.
fraud
Wait,
and just like given it to people that didn't need it.
wait. I want to go. I want to make sure I don't miss anything from this. This story is actually quite good about this woman that you hired.
Yeah,
So,
I'm glad you've enjoyed it.
like, this is wild. So, so you let her go, and she said, "Okay, cool. Let me know if you want me to come back and do nothing."
Yeah, as if I'd ever want that. Literally, like the things I wanted to respond to her, like I had so many ideas, but like honest, I was just like, it's not even worth like saying a word back to her. Like I'll
Yeah.
just send her a formal email informing her legally that our
Yeah.
contract is done. But yeah, I wanted to be like, no, like you got to be kidding with that. Like that's more
I
Maybe
insulting
just
that's
than
what she
anything.
wanted.
I just have a
Yeah,
feeling
right.
that these type of people, like the people who say how hard it is and how employers suck, like you realize that the other side of that is that employers have to deal with you all's counterparts that act like this. Like,
Yeah.
and there's far more of you than there are of businesses. Now, I'm
Yep.
not saying that makes it right. I'm not saying that, but like I don't know, man. Like how do
True.
you do that? How do you go to a place and you're just like, yeah, I'm just not gonna do anything.
Yeah, now the next person I hire, they could be amazing, but
Yeah.
instead of like giving them a whole day to work on their stuff, I'll be like, okay, you need to work on it right here, right now. And like instead of giving them 4 to 8 hours where they get to choose, I'm gonna be like, no, you need to fucking work for sure 8 hours, and you have to tell me beforehand when the 8 hours you're gonna work, so I can like at least hold you to it. And like I wasn't gonna do any of that before, but now I've learned. I was like, okay, like if I don't put on these rules, then like I would have like seen her breaking the hard rules earlier, and then I could have fired her even earlier. But like only a week working, that's not too bad. But still, like now here we are, the middle. Like I wanted a person a month ago, and now here I am still looking for a person a month later. So like
And like, what did I? So okay, that was the other thing I was gonna say. So what is it that she was supposed to be doing? Like, what was the job
just
exactly?
all she has to do, like so like we put all of our like the work we do into this like calendar, like this team calendar,
Okay.
and then someone has to manually copy paste that data into QuickBooks and turn it into an invoice, which is just like copy pasting and filling in like a few things and like clicking a button, and that's it. That's all she had to do,
Okay.
and that would just turn it into invoices. And like we basically got like 4 months worth of invoices that we like back
Yeah, but
invoices to do.
she couldn't log in, remember? That was a pretty big hurdle.
And I was like, no matter what, like I don't care what happens, text or call me anytime, any night. And like that's another thing I'm not gonna do for the next person. Like I'm gonna
Oh.
be like, this needs to be done during the day, and like, yeah, if you don't call me like immediately, then like you're
All right.
fired.
All right.
Like,
All right. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. I'm gonna quit, and I'll come do it.
honestly, yeah, you could easily do that, like easily.
But I want to have about as much time as she did in the beginning. So I want to get a bit of a head start.
Yeah, yeah, she could just be like,
I'd like the
yeah, give me
freedom.
a.
Yeah, I don't think it's fair that I should have to pay for her mistakes, and I think I have a better track record with you than she does. So on that basis, I would love the freedom to be able to do my work later in the day.
Yeah, perfect. And then we won't give you a promotion without giving you a pay raise.
Excellent. Yeah. what what a world we live in.
Mutually beneficial. Look at that.
Oh man, that is
Oh man,
crazy. That is wild. Like, okay.
hilarious. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'll let you guys know how that ends up when I get a new person and
Yeah.
if they actually stick around. It's gonna be fully remote again. I'm gonna stick with that. So
Okay.
like,
Well, good luck. I really hope you
yeah,
find a better candidate than what you had to deal with so far.
I mean,
That's
it can't get
unfortunate.
worse than that, right?
right. The only thing worse would be like, yeah, if
Yeah.
they like put my database like
Yeah,
on the internet for free or something like
yeah, you're
that.
not that far from the bottom, honestly, with that one.
Like, yeah.
I
Oh
still can't
man.
believe this was like a full blown like professional, like a grown ass woman.
Yeah.
What a shame.
Yeah, like I thought it was like we're same age, like she's got a family to support, like
No, she's
no.
got a scam to support.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Did you see her kids? Did she show you pictures?
Actually, I looked her up on Facebook, and yeah, I saw a picture of
Okay.
her kid.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, crazy. So that's that. That's this week. Feel like that's a pretty good place to end it. It's already midnight now. We gave you an hour of
That was great.
entertainment. I hope you guys have some thoughts about that.
That was excellent.
But
Just
otherwise, yeah,
Would you be
I'll
willing to say her name in full right
oh,
now?
oh, oh,
no,
no, don't do that.
no,
No, don't do that.
I wouldn't do that.
That
Actually,
would.
like honestly, I don't think anything I've done is illegal because I've not said a single lie about her. So like, there is nothing illegal. But I don't even want to like
Yeah, you
take
don't want
that
to be.
chance.
Yeah, you don't want to be that employer on
And
the
I also
internet.
don't want to start a war between her.
Yeah,
I don't want to like go say shit about my
yeah.
company or anything.
We want to let the people know from 2222 that we did right by the people around us as best we could.
Yeah. No, yeah, we're not trying to start shit, but yeah.
All
Actually, she can't say shit about my company anyways because I made her sign this paper. So like,
right.
honestly, yeah, I
Oh yeah,
could,
the
but like,
fuckery
I'm
paper.
not. But whatever. All right. Well, we'll check in on that next time on It's Basically Monday. Hopefully Wednesday, but if not, yeah, Fridays are pretty good backup days if we don't make it on Wednesday. So
Yep.
we'll see about that.
Ha ha.
All right, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye everybody.